Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, I was late. It's so funny. I think about this. Hey, G Schnauzer, nice to see you. Um, it's so funny. I think about this off 10. Oh, here, let me readjust here. There we go. The fact that when we have digital clocks have made us be so much more precise. That's okay. You know what? I blame that adorable, huge pupper of yours. So, and there's no blame at all. These things happen, and it was probably a perfect timing because you and I would have chatted. So, no worries, my dear. But looking forward to seeing you on the second. Um, I just find it fascinating. I was thinking about the fact that um, just the fact that with the digital precision of our clocks and even on my phone where it has the little tick 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 tick, now I feel like that Timex commercial, that we are so much more precise in, oh my god, I was like, oh my god, I was 2 minutes late. 2 minutes, 2 minutes can do a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, let's forgive, I will forgive myself for being 2 minutes late. It happens, I'm human. In 2 minutes, you know, the wonderful thing I will say is I'm here now. Now I'm here in the morning at 7 a.m. I think this is about one of the earliest TikTok lives I have ever done. But I have a client early and I have a client after this one, and I thought, well, let me play around with this. Maybe I will meet some new folks. Maybe you'll put me on while you're getting ready for work, or maybe you don't have to get up and you're scrolling in bed and saying, I don't want to get up yet, and you're scrolling. I am all about that, trust me. So I am here to kind of ease you into the morning with some good thoughts and some encouragement and some good vibes about your decluttering. So if we haven't met before, just really quickly, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and I love showing up and doing TikTok lives to help you feel better about what you're doing and to get you encouraged. Encouraged. I saw Kendra Irish say good morning, and having just returned from literally the Boston area on St. Patrick's Day weekend, and the corned beef and cabbage and the whiskey and the, all that stuff and the sláinte. I'm thinking Irish. So yeah, so a little bit about what I'm here to do and help you if you haven't seen me before. So I'm super casual, as you can see. This is how I show up, but I am a certified life coach and a person who loves, I don't know what it is about me, but I love to help people with their clutter. I know that clutter can get you stuck and feeling heavy and weighed down and stuck. Metaphorically, physically, all the things. You're literally, if you think of all the stuff you have in your house, if you were holding it, it would be pretty heavy. But the fewer things, what inevitably happens is when you realize that you can remove the things you don't want, you can feel lighter, you feel freer, notice even my body language is like, oh, I'm just moving around so much more easily. And I know that sometimes can be a struggle, so I'm here to help you through the struggle. It's almost as if, and this is a metaphor I use a lot too, and let me see if I can adjust it here. My head always gets in the way even if I get a haircut. So, first of all, you don't have to look at the camera during my TikTok lives, because what I do on the screen is pretty much just talk and then move my hands around, okay? So one thing I will offer to you is that a lot of the folks that show up to my TikTok lives use this opportunity to have me kind of chatting with you in the background, encouraging you about decluttering while you are doing something else. The only thing I will really ever point to is the simple concept of kind of from point A to point B, which is so weird because it really should be from point A to point Z, okay? Between point A to point Z, there are many stops along the way. Now, I call my coaching and my TikTok page, if you would like to follow it, Destination Decluttered. And I talk about that because I love to travel. And the thing that really flipped a switch for me when I was decluttering, but I was also struggling with my life and kind of like, what am I doing with my life? Is that I realized the importance of having a destination that you're excited about. Now, throughout my life, I have been a very visual person, and I could envision, and I remember even when I was in like high school, and even before then, like I used to make forts, and I would decorate, and then I decorated my room, and I've always been very strong about making a place look good. However, because I had a vision. And I thought, okay, I can have a vision of how I want my home to look and feel, and also my life. And when you have a vision that you are excited about, you immediately kind of eliminate the stuff that doesn't fit. Okay? German May 95, good morning. There we go. Okay, B. Gammy says, 2017, I lost my parent, dog, professional career, and started surrounding myself to block out people. Okay, notice, B. Gammy, notice. And I'm going to say notice a long time. Here's a funny thing. I often say to my clients, like, if you have a jar, and every time I say notice, you put a quarter in it, you'd have a lot of quarters in a jar, but they're your quarters to begin with. So it's not like you're making money, but notice the time, notice the habits you have. I have the habit of using the word notice, because notice is like that kind of pause and say, ooh, look what just happened there. Look what I just said. Look at what is, as B. Gammy is saying, a lot of this kind of tragedy and unfun things in life happened. So because of that, I did this. Because of that, I did this. I started surrounding myself to block out people. I was blocking out people because I lost so many things I didn't want to feel pain anymore. When you notice that, you can do something about it if you choose to. Now, I don't push anybody. I'm so freaking low-key about that kind of stuff. I am here to encourage you. If you want to move in the direction of being less cluttered, I'm here for you. But I'm not about to convince you. I mean, I could convince you because, oh my gosh, the benefits of being decluttered are so freaking wonderful. But you know this yourself, because you're probably, if you are cluttered, you're probably feeling like, I like to say, the opposite. You might be feeling stuck, overwhelmed. Again, my road trip metaphor here, point A to point B, and you're the little car, maybe stuck on the side of the road, not spinning your wheels, but not getting anywhere. You know that feeling. Being decluttered is like the opposite of it. Is moving forward, moving in the direction of your dreams, moving your life. Even right here, where is it? I got one. I make these mugs for myself to inspire myself, but I say, like, drive your life in the direction of your dreams. Now that's a bit kind of vague and all-encompassing, but I always ask my clients when we first start working together, because I do one-on-one coaching, paid coaching, is what do you want your home to look like? Pause and think about that, and then write it down. Here's to me, the even more important question, because it is related to how it looks. How do I want to feel in my home? How do I want to feel? Motorboat. How do I want to feel in my home? And again, I play a lot with this opposites because it gets you out of thinking just the way you are. It gets some distance. So whatever you're feeling, however you're feeling in your home that may not be such a great feeling, just examine if this was like an English class. What's the opposite of that feeling? Okay? I feel heavy, weighed down by my stuff. Heavy, light. And it's so funny. We have words that overlap. Because like heavy is, something's heavy, something's light. I feel heavy, I want to feel lighter. I'm weighed down. Again, I want to feel light. I feel overwhelmed. Overwhelm is the number one thing. I might as well bring it up because I know somebody inevitably is going to. Good morning, PM 11208. I know who you are. It's nice to see you. What was I saying? Overwhelm. Overwhelm is a thing, and overwhelm will stop you. You know how Morrissey, I'm a Gen Xer and I love music, so this is how I roll. You know how Morrissey would say, shyness keeps you from doing the things you want to do. I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to start singing. Not this early morning. But overwhelm can stop you from doing the things you want to do, because if you feel powerless, you feel like something is over you, stopping you from doing something, but you can do something about that. Now, the interesting thing to me is, Cindy is asking where I got my glasses. They're actually those ones, what are they called? Pear glasses, because check this out. You think this, look at this. Now, I wear them a lot like this one. I have another one of these that has the sunglasses in it. That's the main reason I got these. But yes, Pear sunglasses. I'm not being promotionally endorsed. They haven't given me anything. But I like to help people out and answer questions. So hope that helped you. Okay, notice Kia. overwhelmed and paralyzed. Now, I was just about to go into, and this may be different for everybody, so I just want you to think about this. Think about things before you say something, but just what is your definition of the opposite of feeling overwhelmed? Now, to me, I feel like when I am overwhelmed, and even, Kia is saying overwhelmed and paralyzed. So, what is the opposite of paralyzed? Well, paralyzed legit means you can't move. So, the opposite of paralyzing is moving, is being in movement. So, even this, everybody, when you notice you feel overwhelmed and paralyzed, maybe overwhelmed and paralyzed to you are kind of like buddies hanging out. Kia and everybody, even do this. When you think of being overwhelmed and paralyzed, as what's her face would say it? What's her name? Taylor Swift? Shake it off. Move your body. Remind yourself. Even right now, you can move your body. Put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. The opposite. Oh, excuse me. Play with the opposite. Pardon me, I gotta plug in my phone. Notice the opposite, and when you can play with that opposite thing, it can be kind of fun. Notice me, I'm doing like the Kermie wave, the Kermie flail. Remember that one they used to do on Hullabaloo? Oh, I just crack myself up. So, overwhelm. I tend to think of overwhelm as being kind of powerless. Like, I am overwhelmed and I'm not doing anything. I have no power. I'm not moving forward. I'm stuck. So I want to say overwhelm is feeling more in control. More, I'm bringing my power back to me. When you're overwhelmed, you're giving something else your power. You're giving all of the stuff in your house the power to make you feel crappy and stuck. Bring that power back to you. Gather your power back to you and bring it in and say, I can do something about this. I can do something about this. If there's a situation, if you got a problem, I'll solve it. See, this is how my brain works. I hope I hope I bring a smile to your face this morning, if nothing else. When you say I can do something about this, what you're doing is you're getting your nervous system out of fight or flight mode. Even talking about that, when you're feeling overwhelmed, start with your physical body. And this is what I like to say, overwhelm has the word over in it. And when you think of the word over, I want you to think the opposite of that. And I want you to think of the word down. Instead of over, I want you to think of down. That's like an opposite. What do I mean by down? Calm down your nervous system. How do you do that? You breathe down into the bottom of your lungs. Again, everybody, now this is not going to be like, 6 a.m. jazzercise with that lady, the blonde lady. But it's going to be, even starting the morning, notice, I shook off the bad stuff. I shake it off. And then I breathe down. I slow down. I calm down. I quiet down. And then when I feel better physically, when I get out of being a human animal and getting all fight or flight or overwhelmed, then another thing that's going to help me feel less overwhelmed is, because typically for me, what overwhelms me are my thoughts. Maybe what's going on up here. Up here, up is also an opposite of down. Up, down. What I would love for you to think about is downloading your thoughts. Taking your thoughts from up here, writing them down. Getting them out of your head onto paper. Here's a cool thing. I love playing. I was not an English major, but we communicate with English, so I endeavor to use words that everybody uses. Probably not everybody uses the word endeavor, but this is my brain. And I love it. I love my brain. And I hope you love your brain too. Okay? There we go. Cat Mama saying, helps to start with anything. Can play Beth's YouTube recordings while cleaning has helped me. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, yes, and I do record all of my TikTok lives, because here's the deal with me. Just a little bit about me, real quick, because this time is not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you. But I do TikTok lives often. Quick thing is, if you want to find out when they're happening, there is a schedule posted on the top of my TikTok page. If you've never met me before and you kind of like what you're hearing, as that really funny weight loss coach that from Ireland, I'm half Irish, so I think all the guys are kind of funny, says, drop me a follow. So if you want to follow me, that would be great. Then you can be notified when I go live if your TikTok is set up like that. But then also, On the days that I am not doing a TikTok live, because I travel and I have I have a wonderfully varied schedule that I love, but I take care of my people. I do. I'm like a mama duck that way. Okay. And I do, I record my TikTok lives and I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So if there's a day where you could use a little pick me up, a little, body doubling, my ADHD folks, if you know, you know, um, experiment with putting on a recorded TikTok live in the background, and that may help you get moving and going. Okay? So Kia is saying unable to find a starting point. Here, it can be as easy as this. How you do one thing is how you do everything is a nice little catchphrase, and it's true, because decluttering is a thought process. Decluttering is a decision-making process. And I want you to feel good about the decisions you're making, because the decisions you're making are what created your life. You are here right now in your life because of decisions you made. I too am here in my life because of decisions I made. Okay? Finding a starting point, any starting point will do to get you started. What I recommend is two things. The easy way to get started, well, one is kind of the good way to get started, but then there's an easy way, and I'll give you both. One is start with the end in mind. That 7 Habits of Highly Effective People guy, boy, that's a thing. What are you aiming for? Why are you going to be doing all these things, all these declutters? What's the result you want? And that's where I come back to the 3 questions, because 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. What do I want my home to look like? We always start with the look, the superficial, how it looks. But write that down. That's important, because how it looks makes you feel a certain way. So then you say to yourself and answer this question: how do I want to feel in my home? Write that down. Little cheat sheet. If you don't know, because we have a finite amount of words to feel good in the English language, write down the things, fold a piece of paper in half. On one side, you write down the way you're feeling right now that ain't so good. And then on the other side of that line, on the other side, on the other hand, the opposite. Notice how I'm even moving my body around, because I'm on the other hand. There's another side to, if you're feeling stuck, you want to get moving. If you feel heavy, you want to be light. If you feel sad, you want to be happy. Whatever it is, clue into what you want, what you're aiming for. Okay? And then you know some things you know how to do. Trust me, if nobody was struggling with clutter, I would be out of a job. But I have wonderful clients I work with one-on-one paid coaching. I help people here all the time, so I know this is a thing. But there are things you've got the music in you, as Elton John and Kiki D would say. I'm pretty sure. No, maybe it was just her. Oh, they did Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Okay, so sorry, Elton. But, I've got the music in me. You have the answers in you. And you know how to do certain things. The things you don't know how to do or you struggle with, get me as your coach. But you know how to start. So Kia, start with the simple stuff. This is how I coach. 3 levels of clutter. Surface, stored, sentimental. Don't start with the sentimental. Don't walk into the gym after not working out and then do the 90,000 pound weights. Start with the easy stuff. Surface clutter. Put your hand out. Put your hand on an item near you and say, is this where it belongs, or does it need to go somewhere else? Lather, rinse, repeat. That's how you start. Baby steps, easy, small. But you got to calm down your nervous system first. When you feel better, you do better. Here's my, I have so many mantras. If I had somebody embroider them on pillows, my couch would be stuffed. But I want you to think of this. Every little bit helps, and I can do something about this. When I feel better, I do better. Instead of being overwhelmed, I'm going to think of what I like to call all the downs, because there's so many downs that help you get out of overwhelm and into action, moving, driving towards your wonderful destination, because I'm a road tripper, or have been for decades. Now I like to fly, actually, because, I just spent 6 hours on the road from Boston to Pennsylvania, so I can do it. Enough about me, okay? I hope that helps, okay? And thank you, Cat Mama, for helping Kia. I love this. When I do these TikTok lives, and actually Destination Decluttered, I have a Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Another wonderful group of people, much like the people that just show up on these TikTok lives. I don't want to say the word TROLLL. I rarely get those because we have an awesome group of people that show up because we're all here. We got something in common. I grew up in a cluttered home. No lie. I was up in Massachusetts this weekend helping my mother with her clutter because she's overwhelmed with it. She's going to be 83 next week. I get it. She taught me. I learned it from you. Remember that thing about like, this is your brain on drugs? Again, my brain is kind of an amalgam of all these pop culture references from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. Actually, the 60s and 50s too, because I was a vintage lover. But I know what it's like to be cluttered. I know what it's like to feel cluttered. And when I look and it feels, and I didn't feel so great. When I reminded myself, when I learned the hard way, I can do something to change this. It took me a while. It took me decades to really get to where I'm grooving on the life that I freaking love right now. I know what to do now to keep it going, but it took me way longer than I wish it did. However, I'm really glad to be where I am, and I show up in your life to share with you the shortcuts. I kind of hacked my own path, paved my own road, and I learned some stuff along the way, and I just want to share with you what I have learned on the way so you don't have to take as long as I did to get from where you are to where you want to go. That's why I do the coaching. That's why I have the YouTube channel and I show up and do TikTok lives, is to help you remind yourself that you can do something about it. I can do something about something that bugs me. Okay? Oh, goodness. And what I can do is probably start to answer some of these comments and questions that are popping up. Cat Mama, I love that you're watching my TikTok lives more than once. The interesting thing to me is I've been doing this now for about a year. So there are over 100 TikTok lives that are recorded. You'll hear the same, same themes over and over again, because here's the deal with me. I don't want to make it complicated. I like simple. I like words I can understand. I like concepts that make sense to me. I don't want to use jargon and highfalutin words when simple things will do. So I tend to use the road trip metaphor and have fun. But as I do these, I get better and better. Every time I show up to do one of these, I'm better than I was the last time. So here we go. How can I help you? This is my what do I want to call it? Like my Jeopardy thinking music. Was it In the Mood by Glenn Miller? Probably. Thanks, Dad. Okay. Abbott Elementary says, unpacking and enjoying my first cup of coffee while listening to this live. Thanks for the company. You are welcome. I'm enjoying now my tepid cup of tea. But I love to show up for these and help you. I know what it is. Okay, so Kia, get rid of your Doom boxes. For those who don't know, Kia's talking about Doom. It's actually an acronym. Didn't organize, only moved. Now, the funny thing is it also makes you feel kind of doom-y, but you can do that. There's a process. You can do it. I did it all weekend. Categorizing, sorting things out, dumping things out. You're going to feel better when you do it. Okay? Yep, when you feel better, you need to do better. Okay, Virtual Cat is asking a good question. Donate versus garage sale. Current battle in our house. I'm on team donate. Thoughts? Yes, notice there are two sides. There's an opposite. One side says donate, other side says garage sale. I have done the both. I have, multiple times. What I will say to you, or perhaps here are some talking points for you to have a discussion with team selling, is team selling comes from the mindset of, I paid money for this, so I want to get my money back. Funny thing is I heard this from somebody, I wish I can remember what it was, it's like the time to ask yourself about spending the money or not getting the money back is before you even buy it. When you're considering buying it, saying, well, what if this doesn't work out? Will this be a good investment or not? Okay. But what I want to suggest to you is, sure, you can make the money in a garage sale, but boy, does it take a lot of your time. You are going to be exchanging hours of your life for possible money. And I would love everybody to think of this. When you spend your time doing things, you basically are exchanging your time. The only thing we will never get back. Sorry, Andrea, I know. Remember we were talking earlier about I want to get time back. I want more time. None of us get it. It's here, it's gone. It's 7:27 in the morning now. Already, those hours are gone and they're not going to come back. So be mindful of how you spend your time. You are exchanging, spending, you are exchanging your time for something. And I want you to think about this. What's your hourly rate? When is it worth it to me to invest my time to get the result? So think of how much money you might possibly spend. You might possibly go through your items, literally add them up to say how much, if we got what we were asking for each one of these items, how much money could we make? And then literally lop it into like a quarter, because everybody's going to try to haggle with you and some people won't buy anything. So you think you're going to get this much, knock it in half and say, okay, if that's the amount of money we're going to make, $250. Then you say, okay, but it's going to take us 20 hours to get ready for this with all the sorting and the thing and then the day of having it. How much money are you getting paid per hour to actually get that money? Is it worth it to you? Is the money worth the investment? Or as my friend Michael said to me once, is the juice worth the squeeze? Now, I hadn't heard that one before, but boy, was that kind of fun to think about. Only you can answer that, but obviously, because you're on Team Donate, you're saying to yourself, it is not worth it. My time is worth more than that. So think about that. Okay. Deb Z, I can answer this really quickly. Deb Z is asking, where are you located for in-person coaching? Right here on the internet. I don't do in-person coaching. I do Zoom coaching. So I have a map of the U.S. right here because I'm a map person. I'm a road tripper. So I have a map here with little smiley face stickers of my clients. I have clients all over the country. I couldn't do that if I was doing in person. And it has nothing to do with us being in the same room. Zoom allows us to talk about the things that are important, which is how you're thinking and feeling. And based on what you're thinking and feeling, you're acting a certain way. When you're thinking good and feeling good, you're doing the decluttering. You don't need my help. But when there's a thought that's jamming you up, you might be stuck. That can be done versus Zoom. Zoom, I don't need to be in your house or near you to help you. We get Zoom. All right? What do we got going on here? All right. I love it. I love it when I see the folks showing up, helping everybody else. People, we're all here to help each other. So when I'm speaking to one person, I love it when somebody else is like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Okay. It's such good stuff. I love it. Somebody said, I forgot the Kiki D band song. I was thinking Magic Power by Triumph. Now, Jen B, I don't know that one myself. I might know it, but yeah, isn't it funny? We all have different things in our brain that pop up. So there we go. There we go. Kia says, God brought me here today, thank goodness. God, TikTok, me, you, I don't know. I call it the universe. It's less emotionally charged for me because I grew up Irish Catholic in Boston. So I tend to say the universe. It has a lot less baggage that weighs you down. But I'm glad that it's helping you. Okay? I am here to help, not to hurt. Okay? Okay, good morning, lab. Yep, good. I'm glad you know what your time is worth. Yeah, I love it. I love thinking about my hourly rate. My stuff isn't worth it at all. And you can also find out, here's a fun thing. This is why I got my certification as a life coach, because what I talk about 100%, even if you just stayed in that lane of decluttering, helps you with like decluttering. If all you ever do is take my advice, take my suggestions, learn from what I'm teaching you, and stay in the decluttering lane, you will get the result you want. You'll have a home that looks, feels, and functions like you want it to. However, I love the fact that it kind of broadens and it has, bigger implications. What is my hourly rate? Is it going to be worth it for me to do this thing, hang out with this person, take this job? What can I do to keep as much time for me that I get to do what I want with? Okay. There we go. Yeah, see, Chrissy C. Jump says, just talking with you on the free Zoom can help my brain shift. Yes, shifting into gear, shifting out of neutral and park into drive, and driving in the direction of someplace you're excited to go to. That's why I'm here. Once you get going, you can kind of be on a road. You can kind of groove, but notice it may take a while for you to get up and into the driver's seat. Every day we do it, every day, and say, here I am at the beginning of a day. Where do I want to go? And how do I want to feel on this? That's why I talk about this being a journey, a road trip. Okay? And decide to feel good about what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. Decide to feel good. And boy, does it change things. Okay. And I love when I hear, I mean, literally, and I'm going to get like, this is me, I'm human, and I get choked up randomly because I'm a sensitive creature. And I literally got an email. I woke up to an email this morning, 5:30 in the morning, looked at my phone because it has my clock on it. I got an email today that was literally, I want to just make sure I get it right. The header, I won't get into details, but I woke up to an email this morning that says, "You have changed my life." Well, if that isn't powerful, I mean, my gosh, that's a win. You know, it's like mic drop. And helping you shift your way of thinking so that you're feeling better. And when you feel better, you do better. When you're feeling better about yourself, you can do better for yourself. Okay? It's a game changer. And I love doing it because I know what it's like to be stuck and overwhelmed and fearful and discouraged and being like, well, this kind of sucks. Like, why am I here? And then hearing that whisper of, you can do something about this. And being afraid to do it at first, trust me. Talk about a scaredy cat. I grew up being fearful of life. No lie. It has taken me decades to get to where I am now. I just don't want it to take you decades to get to where you're loving your life the way I love mine. Loving your home the way I love my home. How it looks, how it feels, how it functions. I want to help you. So if it takes talking on a free Zoom to help you, glad to help you. Here's the thing. I also offer free one-on-one, not free, excuse me, let me rewind that. I paid one-on-one coaching because right now I'm talking to over 100 people. What I say can help you to a certain extent, but if you're struggling with something and you're always kind of getting stuck at a certain place and you don't know what to do and you're trying everything and it still isn't working, it's almost like your car breaking down on the side of the road. Sometimes you can call a friend who just can give you a little push. Other times you and your friend are like, I don't know, we better call a professional. So I'm kind of like the AAA person with part like, not necessarily tow truck, but maybe the spark plugs and I know what to do under the hood to help you get started again. I like that analogy. All right, what do we got here? Oh, here's a funny thing. Me and my talking, you're going to notice I said earlier about the noticing. When you look at my TikTok lives, when I'm doing my little scrolling and thinking music to keep you company, I inevitably will start to use the theme song to Match Game. All right, Lori Collins is feeling like she's drowning. Lori, here, I am throwing you a life raft. I am throwing you one of those, what do you call it, like the little, round styrofoam things. You're not drowning. It may feel like a lot, okay? It probably does feel like a lot with the arthritis and the babies, grandbabies. When you feel like you're drowning, people notice this. Notice the physical manifestations of overwhelm and not feeling good. When you feel overwhelmed and stuck and heavy and can't breathe because you're drowning, do the opposite. Breathe. Y'all, we all would benefit from just taking a few really deep, slow, mindful breaths. You're getting oxygen to your cells. Breathe down to the bottom of your lungs. Quiet down. Slow down. Calm down your nervous system. And when you feel better, then you can do better. But when you're in suffocation, anxious mode, you're not going to get anything done. So get out of that mode. And now I feel like Jensen, get out of that mode and into badass mode. Okay? Hey, Chrissy, I'm so glad you got your sticker. I know I'm bouncing around, but notice, when you feel better, Lori, when you feel better physically and mentally, you're going to do better in other areas. And the very first thing for everybody, pay attention. Nothing's going to work unless this thing is working well. The body, the emotional, the system, all the things. If this isn't feeling good, it's going to be so much more difficult to do everything. Okay? Now, Ms. Mary is asking the best places to donate that help the most in need. Now, here's where I say Google is your friend. Because I coach people all over the country. Your resources, your destination, donation destinations that feel good to you are going to be different probably from the ones that I have. Now, I live in a town where I have multiple, both kind of like the Goodwill. I think Goodwill's the only one we have that's kind of, or, the boxes in the grocery store parking lot. But we also have a number of really small places in town. I know we have one that helps the hospital. We have one that helps Alianzas. We've got one for battered women. We've got one for homeless people. We have a number of places that we can donate things. We have one for people, food pantry, all that. Finding the places near you. Listen to this part, please, everybody. Find the places that make it feel easy for you to donate, both with proximity and their hours that they're open, that kind of outside stuff, but also that makes you feel good about their mission. Now, I will say this too, knowing that a lot of people, rightly so, have an issue with Goodwill because of the way that they're structured and how the guy at the top makes so much money. I call bullshit on that. However, I will say this: I have donated to Goodwill, and I probably will again because of my time. If I am unable to get to one of those places that's a little bit more local and they're not open at the time that I want to do it, my time is valuable. So I know that there is some good coming out of Goodwill, so I would much rather donate to somewhere than to put it in the trash. So do some Googling. What are the things you feel good about? Donate where it feels good, okay? Yeah, Virtual Cat is saying getting a partner on board is the battle. Choosing which clutter hills to die on. Yes, it is. It is. Trust me. I got a partner, my husband of, almost 22 years. He's a really good egg, though. He is, but even then, I have to use methods to get him encouraged to go through his clutter. And yes, deciding on the battle. Deciding what you want to make a big deal out of and the stuff that you just want to let go. Because you know what you do? You say, what's my destination? Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Now, I'm not saying it has to be you sucking it up, buttercup, and just whatever. But there are certain things that you're going to be like, let it go, let it go. Is that Disney? I'm going to Disney later this week. If you're there, say hi. Okay. Oh, hey, there we go. Laura Gibbons Voorhees, nice to hear from you. See, the neat thing is I tend to see people, it's so weird, I won't even know people's real names because I will notice Virtual Cat and German Maid 95 and Elle and a lot of the, people that show up quite often on these because you get notified when I do a TikTok live. Since it's been a few minutes and I haven't done kind of a station ID, I used to be in college radio and I try to remember those things. So if we're just meeting for the first time, hey, good morning. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I call it that because I love to travel, and I know the difference in when you're excited about where you're going, it's easier to take the steps and take the action versus if you're not psyched. So I like to help you with that in kind of a fun, casual, Gen X, road trip oriented way. Okay, so if you're interested in what I do, please follow my TikTok page. That would be awesome. That will allow you to be notified when I do TikTok lives. And actually, let me take a look at this. Do I have one on the schedule for tomorrow? I do. The schedule is posted on the top of my my TikTok page, and also if you're on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, let me just make sure that's working, is you will be notified ahead of time when I'm doing TikTok lives. Now, I did let people know I have TikTok lives scheduled from now until the end of March. The end of March is next week, you guys. The end of March is next week. That means 3 months into 2024. Just letting you know, time is passing. Are you where you want to be? If you're not, maybe I can help you. Okay? What do I got going on here? Yep, women's shelters, people say, a good drive on, yes, see the drive up, drop off, Virtual Cat, that's one of the reasons I go to the Goodwill occasionally. Yep, I love these good ideas, people are saying, Okay, Virtual Cat, I love this. Kia, good luck with your doctor's appointment, nice to meet you, and I will be, like as the Friends theme would say, I'll be there for you, okay? Anybody? Virtual Cat is saying, we are decluttering. Oh, and you know what? Here, let me back up. I'm sorry. This is how my brain works sometimes and I get confused. I just realized I never told anybody how to get onto the mailing list. Wicked easy. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. If you go to my website, or excuse me, go to my TikTok page. There's actually a hyperlink already there that says destinationdeclutter.com/links. That's also how you can sign up for a consultation for one-on-one coaching, etc. But sorry, I forgot to give you the way to go on the mailing, but I saw some of you have figured it out. All right, focus, ADHD lady. We are decluttering before facing the bigger task of emptying out my mother-in-law's home in a few years. Virtual cat, that is such good advice, because you know what you're doing is you are practicing. You are getting in the habit of, you are working out, you are building your muscles, working out with weights. All right, you are building your decluttering muscle. You're building your decluttering muscle up here, which is decision making. Decluttering and decision making, they both begin with a D. And it's saying, what is this thing? What do I want to happen with it? Do I want it in my life? Good. Where am I going to put it? That makes sense to me. What do I want to happen with it? I don't want it anymore. Where's the easy way for me to get it out of my life? AKA donating, selling, throwing away, whatever. Okay? Lather, rinse, repeat. When you declutter yourself, you're also going to get so much more honed in on what you want in your home and what you don't want in your home. Because trust me, I was just at my mother's house and I'm looking around saying, do I want any of this stuff in my house when she passes? And the answer is kind of like 99% no's, but maybe some yeses. So when you decide what you want, it helps you make a better plan for the other stuff, because you know you don't want it and you can make a plan now. Okay? So good stuff. Work on your muscles. And trust me, I'm kind of a lazy coach, because, I like to encourage versus yelling and being all bossy like that. Though my sisters may say I was bossy. That was back in the day before I knew better. Okay? Hey, ID Princess, nice to see you. Good morning. I will see you next week. I love it. Speaking of time is flying lately, it's 7:45, which is weird because when I say that, when I do talk texting, I say 7:45 and my phone changes it to 7:45. I'm like, no, I said 7:45. Okay, because I'm old school. Okay, ID Princess, I'm so glad that our time together is helping you so much. I look forward to our next session together. But thank you for coming up and letting folks know who aren't my one-on-one clients how much it's helped you, because here's my Boston, that means a wicked lot to me. Okay, I wouldn't do this if I wasn't helping people. If what I was doing wasn't helping, I'd stop it immediately, because I am here to help you when you're stuck. I'm like, come on, you can do something. Let's work together. I know what to do. I've been on this journey before a bunch of different times with a bunch of different clients and people and friends and all this. I know what to do in many of these situations. Okay, I almost said all of these situations, but there may be some I don't know what to do. But I'm honest about that. I am not a licensed mental health professional, so if it sounds like what you're struggling with is a lot more than I can safely help you with, I will, with love as you for a fellow human being, encourage you to get the help that will help you. Okay, I love it. People are doing some good stuff, and sentimental about everything when a loved one passes. Notice the sentimentality. Okay, Lori Collins, you're in a different time zone. Yeah, I'm East Coast, as you can tell by my wickeds and my references to Boston. I'm in Pennsylvania. But your mileage may vary. Sentimentality. We talked about surface clutter, stored clutter. Stored clutter is the stuff that when you don't have space for your stuff on the surfaces, it's probably because your storage is packed. ID Princess, am I right? Oh my God, I can't tell you. I feel like I'm talking right to you, because I am, because it's so funny. Another client was talking about how many of these kind of the plastic mugs you have and the Starbucks glasses. When I went to my mother's house, boy, did she have a collection of them as well. You don't realize what you collect until you have them. I know for a fact, and this week I'm going to look at them because I probably have some up on a top shelf too, the Disney ones, because we go to Disney every year with my husband's, the band he's in. And so sometimes you don't realize how much you've accumulated until you stop, collaborate, and listen. No, you stop and you look at what you have and you kind of put them into categories. You may have 28 of them, you may have 60. The number may surprise you, but once you see what you have, then you can deal with it. Okay? Oh, this is interesting. Jackie Emmons is saying, what's your thoughts on VHS movies? Really good question, because my mom had a lot of those in her basement. Now, you might want to Google where you're at and what you can do with them. Okay? I say that because, for example, I have a friend who used to make, spiral bound notebooks with album covers and VHS covers. I have a few of his that I've used throughout the years. and he's made some for me. You may have somebody that's doing something creative about them that you may be able to donate them to them. You'll also need to check with your local donation places to see if they even accept them. Sadly, and I will say this, at some point, you may need to throw things in the trash that you kind of wish you didn't have to if you're of the recycling nature. But what I will say to this is, you do everything you can to donate things in a way, but if you've examined all the options and it isn't working out, decide to feel okay about putting stuff in the trash. Other than that, the trash is going to accumulate in your house, and that's not good for you or anybody or the planet, because when you die, you will have been surrounded by trash, and then all that stuff's going to go in the trash anyway, because somebody's going to get a dumpster and clean up your house. Okay? Okay. Chrissy C. Jump is saying, I'm stuck in the but what if I need it? ID Princess, I found more when I cleaned the garage. Yep, just tossed them. You know what? At a certain point, let it go. Let it go. It's more about you feeling good and moving on. And trust me, there are corporations that have put more in a landfill in the time that I've done this TikTok than you and I, all of us, will ever put in a landfill in our entire lives. So put it into perspective. Okay? Okay. Notice that Chrissy is saying, I have a thought, but what if I need it? Notice that thought causes you to feel a feeling, kind of fear. The fear of if I let it go, I won't have it if I need it. Sure, let's hang out in that space right there. Thought, feeling, stuck. Unhelpful thought, unhelpful feeling, because I'm grabbing onto things. Fearful. When's the last time you used whatever that is? Listen to yourself for the answers. Noted. Okay. When's the next time you think you might need them? Listen for your answers. If you did get away and you needed it in the future, could you borrow it from somebody? Could somebody lend one? Could you could you easily do what you need to do without it? Or could you be cool with, if you happen to need it in the future, maybe you just buy another one. But see all those steps before buying another one. Now, only you can prevent forest fires. Only you know what's going on inside you. Okay? You make the decisions that feel right to you given your situation. That's why when I do the one-on-one coaching, I love the customization about it. Customability. Look at me, I'm making up words. Listen to yourself. Know your life. Feel good about the decision you are making. Feel good. When you feel good about your decision, you're immediately creating a life that looks and feels good to you. And that's all that matters. Not to somebody else, not to the external world, to you. You feeling good about your life. This is why I'm here. Feeling good, learning how to feel good about your decisions. Coaching helps you. Learning how to get unstuck when you're feeling stuck. Feeling the delight of, a home that looks better to you. You feel better when your home looks better. When you feel better because your home looks better, you do better in the world. It's a positive ripple effect. Like a little stone, there's those concentric rings. If I wasn't feeling good about my life and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I would not be doing a TikTok live. If I was not doing a TikTok live or doing any of my coaching, if I was just kind of my own little armadillo shell of unhappiness and stuck on the side of the road, I wouldn't be here helping you. I wouldn't be getting messages that literally say, you changed my life. Now, you may not want to change anybody else's life but your own, but changing your life and improving it and getting it to where you feel good about what you're doing, I think that is the most worthy destination of all. Because much like when you're on a plane, I'm going to be on a plane in a couple of days, and they say when things start to go awry, put your mask on first and you can better help others. It's the same thing. When you show up for yourself, it's not selfish. It's wonderful, because then you are better equipped to help other people. Your family, your partner, your kiddos, your mother-in-law, God, why did I pronounce it that way? Okay. There we go. Feeling better. Even taking a shower and doing your hair, I feel better. When you feel better, you do better. Now, I do too. When I take a shower, I feel better. When I do my hair, I feel better. What was that? do my hair, check my nails. Remember that one? When you feel better, you do better. But you know what's really good too? Is feeling good from the inside. Now, I know I feel slightly better if I take a shower, slightly better if I have my hair done or makeup. But you know what the great thing is? Look at me now. I woke up this morning. This is not washed hair. I had to get some residual makeup underneath my eyes off. I have no makeup on except for chapstick. And that's only because it's more comfortable for me to lip my lips when I have chapstick. When you feel good on the inside, you are not as concerned with the outside. But if I feel like doing it for me, I'll do it for me. Okay? When you feel better, you do better. Okay? All right, y'all. First of all, the cool thing is I turned this way and I noticed that the sun is coming up, which is so great. I love that. I love how I see the interplay of everybody in the comments here. I know that when you watch this as a kind of a rerun or a recording on the Destination Declutter TikTok Live recordings on YouTube, you don't see these comments. That's why I am always reading the comments for people so they know what I'm referring to, as opposed to, yep, whatever. Here's a good one. Yay, victory lap, big win. I love it. See, notice the encouragement. What the neat thing is 6 minutes from now, when I sign off to jump into coaching and consultations for the day, or get back into it really, I would like to think that we all will feel a little bit better, a little bit more buoyed up, a little bit more lighter, a little bit more bouncing around, floating around, as opposed to heavy and sinking, you know. I'm getting that image of when I used to go fishing with my dad, and you'd have like the sinker that weighed down the thing, but you'd also have the little bobber at the top. Feeling less sinky and more bobby? I don't know, something like that. Okay. Now Mama Pepper is saying, I'm working on reducing the stuff I'm bringing into the house. Perfect. Think about your clutter this way. Look at it very, like, kind of analytically. You have items, you have a number of items in your house. And to declutter, you are decreasing the number of items in your house. Every time you decrease it, the clutter lowers. It's like you remove something, returning it, recycling it, donating it, selling it, all the ways you can get out, all those outputs, decreasing it. However, if you don't reduce the amount of stuff that's brought in, your number of items in your house will be slower to decrease. So this is when I talk about the kind of the two-step process of decluttering that you do at the same time, or at least when you're coaching with me you do, is not only just the sheer decreasing the number of items, it's the changing of the habits so you don't build it up again. And this is where a lot of my clients talk about the fact that it's so similar to weight loss. You can go on a crash diet and you can be like, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, and you're like, yes, I'm done. But if you don't change your habits daily, if you don't change the way you're thinking and feeling and acting about stuff and clutter, you're going to gain the weight back. It's learning how to knock it down and change your habits that's going to allow you to maintain and sustain and all that. I love it. Chrissy C. Jump. What a great destination. I want to be able to dance around my middle room and not run into stuff. Yes, who wants a bruised shin? Yeah. So notice that. Do I have enough room to dance around? If I don't, what can I move? What can I do to give myself more room to dance around in my house? I stay up too late. I got my own internal soundtrack. I do my dancing around the house. I used to dance with our dog while he was still around. I was like, Rigby, check out my moves. Mom's got it going on. I realized last night, actually, randomly, that we don't dance enough like we used to. We used to have dance parties at my friend's house. Mental note. Dance party. We're going to have a dance party. Because we all, as we age, and even when we don't, we need to move our bodies more. Okay? Dance, shout, shake your body down to the ground. Okay? There we go. Virtual Cat is saying, this is a great group. Really helps me with a great start to my day. If you start your day great, it's more likely to go better. When you are thinking better and feeling better, you will do better. You will also be sending off good vibe waves. Have you ever felt that? Like, you can walk into a place and see somebody, and this is where we are really energetic creatures. We are, like, it's like you can pick up a vibe on somebody. Are they smelling like they're unhappy? Are they giving off the vibes of stink? Or are they giving off the vibes of, hey, I want to hang out with that person. That person looks like fun. It would be cool to hang out with her. I bet I could, that feels like fun. If it feels like fun, you should do it. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I'm not a fan dancer, but I feel great when I do. Nobody cares what you look like. What's that dance like nobody's watching? I look like a big old goofball when I'm dancing, but you know what you see is me having fun. And who doesn't love seeing somebody have fun? It's like little kids. Virtual Cat is saying, my brain, I love this. My brain is less cluttered when I see less cluttered. Yes, yes. It's one of the reasons we do that. Is because your brain is always on processing mode. It is on, what is that? Do I need to do anything? Where does it go? When you look at your stuff and it's all in the right place, you don't need to worry about moving it to another place. When your brain is less cluttered, you will feel less cluttered, and then you'll be less likely to add more clutter to your life. Okay? There we go. Jean Burke Studio Shop says, thanks for this. I folded laundry and cleaned my kitchen while you chatted. Awesome. I am glad you took this time for yourself. And now look it's almost 8 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard. I'm hopping off in like literally a minute because I have coaching and consultations. But notice you spent that time doing something that's getting you ahead of time. Maybe just hanging out and scrolling was all you needed to do, and you feel a little bit more able to wake up. And you know what you did? Ideally, I'm thinking this. Our short time together this morning filled your tank with gas. Filled your tank with gas of the good kind, the high octane, that's going to make your engine run smoother, that you're going to be able to go through the day feeling like, hey, yeah, this is going to be okay. When I show up for my TikTok lives, inevitably that happens. When people show up for their coaching, inevitably that happens. What I want to teach you how to do, either it's on these random TikTok lives that I do occasionally, or more succinctly so you can get to where you want to go sooner, your destination decluttered, is I teach you this process so that you can do it yourself when I'm not around. I show you the skills. It's like learning how to drive when you didn't know how to drive. Okay? Questions is saying, I tell myself goodbye, you no longer get to take up my life's time. Yes, what a great idea. Find out what works for you. All right, Monica's got to get to work. Thanks for a great start of the day. Have a good one, you all, and I'm going to do the same, okay? Once again, just quick recap. If we've never met before, Beth, Destination Decluttered, Gen X Decluttering Life Coach. If you like what you're hearing, please follow my TikTok page. That will let you know when I'm doing more TikTok lives. Also, sign up for my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. And if you want me to be on your one-on-one coach, you can find out about that on my website too. All right? I got to go. I'll see you the next time I do a TikTok live. You can find out about that on my TikTok page. All right?